Hello, it's Tepid with Legion TCG, and today I have a profile for you for Black Base Gaiomon. There's definitely been a lot of popularity around the Blackwargreymon strategy, but I think this deck offers a different look at where to take it for an anti-meta controlling option. For our eggs, we have 4 Hotmon. This is going to offer a 1000 DP boost on your turn if you control Black Tamer. Now in this list we are playing 3 Black Tamers. It's pretty hard to find DP boosts in black. This is one of the most consistent ones for this list versus the Kapurimon with Reboot or any of the blocker buffers. Sometimes you may find the matches going a little bit long and you may want a 5th egg. In that case, probably the best is to go with the BT5 Pagumon. To continue buffing, we have 4 Tabermon. It's going to give another 1000 DP boost if the Digimon has 2 or more colors, which is all of our level 5s and 6s. Out of all of our rookies, it's the most valuable to find in your opener, as you can guarantee either a 13k Blackwargreymon or 14k Gaiomon. Another benefit is that this is an all-turns buff, which helps the defensive synergies of this deck. We are also playing 3 Chumon, which have become extremely valuable thanks to the presence of multiple memory boosts in all of the OTK decks in the format, plus the ability to stop incidental memory gain like on Wargreymon X. This is one of our big draws for playing the black base versus a red base. And our other reason for being in black is 4 Shikurimon, which when hidden security will digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon by 1. This effect hits every deck in the format, as the towers that are swinging for OTK are very dependent on their megas. The other advantage is it's a threatened security that cannot be turned off by a delicate plan, which has been an easy splash thanks to BT8 Hero and Soren Math. With a play cost of 3 and an EVO of 0, the opportunity cost for putting 4 Shikuri in the deck is actually very low. Finally, we have 2 Promo Sunarisemon on the deck, which is going to help push us towards the win in 2 separate ways. On board, it's going to grant our black Digimon with 13k or more DP piercing, and in the inherit, it's going to grant those same Digimon security attack plus 1. This is another tool that allows us to compensate for some of the kill potential being lost when moving to a black base. Furthermore, granting piercing onto something like a Blackwargreymon, along with the BT8 Metal Greymon's inherit, it gives you a line of play which involves attacking your opponent's unsuspended Digimon, then unsuspending the Blackwargreymon, and then potentially going to do it again, all while getting piercing checks off to push your opponent's security down. For our first champion, we have 4 of the BT8 Greymon. He's going to grant blocker if you control a red Digimon, which will count if the Digimon on top of him is both red and black. This is a relatively low blocker format, so people aren't always going to be considering how to counterplay around it. And if he is under the Blackwargreymon, that unsuspend effect is going to allow that card to block twice. And most of all, since we are in a control deck, having this effect is going to allow us to stabilize a little bit longer until we can go for the kill. Next we have 4 Deltamon, who while he evos for 3 is going to reduce the Digivolution of our 2-colored Digimon or composite Digimon, in this case Chimeramon, by 2 memory. This is one of our best enablers for board control, as after promoting from raising with only 2 memory, we're going to be able to go into any of our level 5s, which all have popping effects. He easily pays off for that initial investment, and he comes with an interesting inherited, allowing him to pop 3k or less Digimon equal to the number of colors the current Digimon possesses, which directly synergizes with the BT8 Metal Greymon. We are also playing 1 BT8 Cyclomon. He is here to give us an extra level 4 with 2 colors for some of the synergies we're going to get into later, although his inherit to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 2k DP or less can come up as more lists are playing memory blockers and incidental rookies. And our last champion is a single Grumblemon to give us that extra bit of extension to close out for game. While we do play red Tamers in the list, since we're playing a black base, we would rather him over a Goonie or any of the Burning Greymons. Beginning our level 5s is the BT8 Metal Greymon, the deck's most valuable playmaker. On Digivolution, he's going to de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon by 1 and then pop one of their Digimon with 3k DP or less. He also grants an inherent, which allows our Megas to be able to attack our opponent's unsuspended Digimon. And with Deltamon in the stack, he's going to be able to come out for an EVO cost of 2. De-digivolve is almost always relevant and is not something decks can protect against. However, we won't always have him, so we are playing a 1-of Megadramon from BT8. While not as good, the ability to pop a Digimon or Tamer with play cost of 3 or less, and having that same effect in the inherit can come up, especially with cool boys running around. However, I think the superior level 5 is our 2 of Chimeramon, which not only allows us to control the board, but tuck valuable inheriteds back underneath our stack. The only reason we're running the Megadramon instead of 3 Chimeramon is because we want 1 extra level 5 to be able to find with our searchers. Chimeramon also has synergies with Deltamon, as when evoed he can reduce opponents' Digimon down to the popping range for the Deltamon inherit. We begin our Megas with 3 BT8 Blackwargreymon. He's going to allow us to pop our opponent's Tamers and Digimon, helping to control the board, and sometimes that 4 evo cost can actually be pretty valuable, as you can pop your opponent's memory Tamer, choking them down to 1. With some of the buffs we discussed earlier, we can get him up to 13k, which is going to trigger both effects of the Sunraizamon, and he's pretty good on the defense with a BT8 Greymon tucked underneath him. Finally, that ability to unsuspend himself when an opponent's Digimon is deleted allows you to more easily clear up your opponent's board to go for the long game. Now, you are losing the protection of cards like Greymon X or Alteris mode, but when playing this variant of the deck, you are going for the long game in a case of death by 1,000 cuts. Don't be afraid to throw your Blackwargreymon out there just to get the value off the kill and maybe an attack, and then continue to build your own board state, as your opponent is going to be more likely to run out of resources before you do. On the more aggressive side of things, we're going to be playing 3 Gaiomon, and while it is very nice to evo him for 2 on top of a Blackwargreymon while getting value, sometimes you just want to take advantage of the Gaiomon's blitz by going into it, de-digivolving an opponent's Digimon, and then potentially going to kill it with the BT8 Metal Greymon inherited. At 5 memory, however, this can be very costly, although it is always a play worth considering. And with Reboot and the BT8 Greymon, he can also come back to work as a blocker, while also being at 13k DP, which is going to trigger the Sunraizamon on the spot. For level 7s, we are playing a single Zwart defeat. We're not so much worrying about his security effect to be able to play himself, but more so his ability to pop another Tamer. Sometimes you just want to extend a little bit further to take away resources from your opponent while also committing a body to board that, if it dies, can counter pop something your opponent controls in response. Our second level 7 is a copy of Omnimon X Antibody. This is mostly here as a hard win against Grandis Quagamon, one of the deck's worst matchups. If you can drop this card, there's really no way for them to get around it, and you can continue to just poke away while denying them resources. For Tamers, we have 3 Maki. While the ability to only reduce Evo on board isn't the most amazing, and at 3 play cost she's vulnerable to opposing Blackwargreymons, the ability to work as a mini Davis while fetching up 2 Digimon and securing our rookies is too valuable to pass up on this list. We're also on to BT8 Hero. The 2k buff here is not to be ignored and can easily push our Blackwargreymons up to 16,000 and our Gaiomon up to 17,000 with the proper buffs in stack, which lets us dodge big security hits like Death Xmon or opposing level 7s. And our final Tamer is a 1 of BT1 tie, just because we are not able to get an extra security attack from our inherits, and if the game is going long enough, having him on board in addition to the heroes will allow us to close out game just a little bit faster. With a Gaiomon and a Sunraiza and a tie, we can get to as many as 4 checks in a single turn. For our options, we are on 3 Black Memory Boost. Similar to the Maki, it's going to allow us to fetch a card while also being able to duck around Tamer Hate, and is a very good hit for us if found the security to allow us to extend a bigger play next turn. And finally, for our removal, we have 2 copies of Ultimate Flare, one of the better pieces of removal in the format, as it's not only going to strip towers of their valuable effects, but as discussed before, de-digivolve is not something that can be protected against, and it has the incidental benefit of being one of the best cards you can hit when playing against the Armor Rush strategy. And finally, a 1-of copy of Dark Gaia Force. Just a tech we're trying right now is it can be fetched with the Maki, and sometimes you're going to be playing against a list where Ultimate Flare is not as good, and the Dark Gaia Force can come in clutch. I genuinely believe this list is going to have a lot of benefit for the rest of this meta, and especially moving into BT10. Tamer Hate is something that's very rare to see, and playing Blackwargreymons is going to allow you to control aspects of the board that were previously untouchable. Next up, Crossheart is posed to do very well, especially thanks to the save mechanic, which is going to tuck resources underneath Tamers. They're also playing a critical mass of 3-cost Tamers, which allows you to get 2-for-1s off of the Blackwargreymon. Also, from my testing, I believe this deck has a lot of resilience against opposing lists, the only bad matchup being the Mirror with a red base, as they're just a little bit faster than you and can also pop your resources before you can pop theirs. As always, let us know what you think about the list in the comments below. Have you been playing Blackwargreymon? Are there any techs I missed that you think might be valuable for the deck? And are you excited for the support coming out in the future? Today's wonderful thumbnail art of Maki was drawn by my friend Jasmine. You should go find her at @JasmineWrites, and we'll be linking her Twitter in the description below. She offers some very wonderful commissions. And most of all, thank you for watching. For all my Digidestined out there, stay safe and have a wonderful day.